Every day, realtors in Southwest Florida are hearing buyers say they want to buy a house here in the area, but they are waiting for the prices to fall. They're waiting for a crash to happen in the real estate market in Southwest Florida. Has there been price adjustments? Yes. But is a crash happening? Are prices falling like avalanche? Today we're going to take a look and try to answer that question for you in my June 2025 Collier County, Greater Naples area market update. This channel focuses on everything to do with living in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking about buying or selling or just have questions, call or text me at 239-450-5786. My wife and I are about to celebrate our 27th anniversary, and during that time we have owned 4 different homes, all of which, with the exception of this last one, we never lived in long enough to see the equity position grow. And when we went to sell it, we were very tight and we didn't see any gains. Now we've been in Florida here the longest and have owned this home now for over 10 years. We have seen the value of our home grow year after year. Now, of course, 2021 and 2022, we saw our values jump up way up because of the interest rates and the market activity. And of course, the question in everyone's mind was, is that going to hold? Is that sustainable? And as we've gone through 2023 and 2024, and now the current year 2025, the question is even louder. Is the pricing here in Southwest Florida crashing? Now, I'm going to, before we get into the numbers, just say realistically, yes, if you bought in 22 or even in the beginning of 2023, you bought at the peak of the surge pricing. So yes, you probably are seeing your values fall. But I want to talk about the entirety of the market and the stability of the growth of the real estate market here in Collier County and the Greater Naples area. And as we take a look at this month's update, we're going to look at how Collier County and Lee County compare to each other and the entire MLS for the overall health of the real estate market here in Southwest Florida. I'm a half glass full person. I try to look at it positively. I'm not looking for the world to collapse. Has the economy been bad? Yes. Are interest rates high? Yes. Are buyers afraid to pull the trigger right now? Yes. But that doesn't necessarily mean that real estate values are crashing. Are sellers adjusting pricing down to try to get buyers to make offers on their houses? Yes. But over the grand scheme of things, what is it actually doing to the market here, the values in Southwest Florida? So now let's take a look at the market activity from May 2025 in Collier County and Lee County as we take a look at this month's Greater Naples Collier County market update. Now, as we begin to take a look at the actual numbers for the month, just a quick reminder that all the information that I'm presenting to you is taken directly out of the Southwest Florida MLS system and is completely unfiltered. You can see right here that I'm actually live in our system, no screenshots today. I'm giving you unfiltered information for Collier County, Lee County, and the entire MLS system. You can see here that there are no filters. It's all price ranges, all property types, all bedrooms. I'm just giving you all the information so that you can have the information on hand and make the right decisions for you and your family. So let's begin by taking a look at the median close price. This is the number I really like to look at because, again, Southwest Florida here, we have such a wide range of properties. Collier County obviously has properties into the multi millions. Lee County does as well. Not as many as the Naples area, but again, it does impact it. But you'll see here in the median numbers, that middle number. You stack all the sales together, and it's that middle number, right? So median numbers here, Collier County pretty much holding steady at 607,500. Lee County, 360,000. Again, the MLS system is 400,000, which is obviously impacted by both numbers. Now, what I see here, looking at the last 5 years, is that pricing has grown. Obviously, we see the big price jump here in 2022 compared to where we were when we started 2020. But we see that we're not diving down. We're holding up here in this range, this $600,000 range for Collier County, and if we look at Lee County as well, again, we're not diving down into the $300,000 range, or to below the $300,000 range. We're holding steady in the same area. Are we at these peaks here for that we were in 2022? No, we're not. But we're not across the board seeing the decreases that you're maybe hearing out of some of the areas. Now, if we looked at maybe Cape Coral by itself, yes, okay, property values are adjusting, okay? Sellers are adjusting to find where the buyers are willing to enter into the market at this price point. That really is what all the price adjustments are, is sellers seeing what the comps and what the market data says that their house should be sold at, and then the realistic of what are buyers willing to pay at a 6.8 to 7% interest rate. That's a different conversation. It's not necessarily a conversation of what the property values are, because it is really what are buyers paying for today and what are they willing to come and look at the house. So sellers are adjusting the prices down in order to get buyers to come and take a look. There are a whole lot more buyers right now in the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 range than there are in the $750,000, $800,000 to $1 million range, especially if they need financing. That's just the facts. I mean, when you look at the cost of financing a home that's $800,000, it's a whole lot more than obviously a $500,000. That's just plain math, right? So we see here, the curve really isn't, we're not seeing this big downward crash. We're seeing pretty stable since really the peak of 2023. Sure, we popped up here a little bit, and here, I mean, obviously every season there's always some more, snowbird season, there's always some more high value properties sold, which always pushes up the median number. And of course, the average number, basically we're seeing the same thing, right? We're not seeing a downward trend to where they were before, but we are definitely seeing it's up and down. But again, averages, all sales combined divided by the number of sales, right? So in our market, it's hard to really get an accurate picture, but the reality is that we're not seeing that steep decline that everybody keeps talking that we're seeing. Now let's look at the activity numbers, and again, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump to something a little bit more easier to understand here. When we look at the number of new listings in Collier County, 1,068, Lee County, 2,832, Tire MLS, 4,241, which gives us total numbers of home for sale, 7,398 for Collier County, 13,865 for Lee County. Now, I just want to put this in perspective for a minute. When you look at the two counties and you go, oh my goodness, what is actually going on here? Well, the reality is that Lee County has 400, as of 2023 stats that I found, 452,000 residents. Now, of course, there's been new construction like crazy over the last 2 years, but 452,000 versus Collier County in 2024 number I found was at 248,000 homes. So obviously you're going to see market share and just pure numbers right there. I mean, it's just you're going to see a much higher number. It's certainly not a characteristic of, oh my gosh, there's a huge sell-off going on. Now, are there a lot of homes for sale? Yes, there are. Let's quickly just take a jump to look at the months of supply. Collier County has 10.5 months worth of supply. Lee County, 9.2 months. So by definition, we are a buyer's market. Interest rates, economy doesn't really necessarily say that's completely a buyer's market, but by definition, we are a buyer's market. This is the first time really in a long time that buyers have a very sharp advantage over or strategic position over the sellers. Now, with interest rates and the economy, people are a little concerned about pulling the trigger, but from a buyer's perspective, there may have never been a better time to pull the trigger, that you can buy properties at a lower point and you can always refinance. Enough said, I say every single month, but again, there is a huge opportunity for buyers here in Southwest Florida because we have so much inventory. If interest rates start to fall, which we all hope they will, values or buyers are going to enter the market and this inventory is going to get used up or sold very quickly. So let's go back to what actually happened in May. Pending sales, we saw 871 new contracts, 1787 in Lee County. We saw total homes closed of 862 and 1948 for Lee County. So again, when we look at it, we're seeing over the last 3 years, the numbers are holding pretty steady. Collier County definitely is at a slower pace right now than say 2 years ago, but really the same thing. We're seeing about the same drop in Lee County. So again, are we in a crash? No, homes are selling every single day. It's just a slower pace. We have more homes on the market than we ever have, and everybody's just concerned about it. So why are there a lot of price adjustments? Well, when you only have 862 buyers going to closing, there's a lot of competition going on between the sellers to vie for those buyers. And the only way, besides better photos and marketing and advertising, is price. And that is how sellers are working to get buyers to take a look at their home, is adjusting the price. It's really because of the number of homes. When you hear and you look at the media, there's 500,000 more homes in the country on the market than there are buyers, but there are markets that only have 2 months worth of inventory and their homes are getting multiple offers because they have so little inventory. That's not the case here in Southwest Florida. So it does look like we're having this massive sell-off. We just have a lot of homes, and some of that is investors that are selling off. We have homes that were, where the owners are seasonal and they just don't want to deal with hurricanes anymore. And we have one of the big factors, in my opinion, is that there are a lot of people that moved here in post COVID to get away from the big cities out of fear of many different things. And employers were saying you can work from home, and they're now saying, you know what, that's not really working for us, so we need you to come back. And if you want to keep your job, you got to come back into the big cities. And I think that's what we're starting to see happening here, really, is the big picture, is that the benefit of being or the ability to be in the sunny paradise that we have is really disappearing, and that's causing a lot of homeowners to sell. And obviously with buying power and not a whole lot of buyers on the market, that's impacting us greatly. So the bottom line is this. Okay, let's just real quick, one last number here. Days on market, median 55 to 60. Average, really better picture, 87, 84, 90 days. Let's just call it 90 days on the market. It's going to be the time that it takes for a seller to sell their home. So the reality is that homes are selling, buyers are buying, sellers are putting their homes on the market because they're either moving for various reasons, but it is still a market that is active. Okay, so If you're thinking about buying a home here in Southwest Florida, whether it be an investment property, a retirement property, a seasonal retreat, or a full-time residence, maybe you're a first-time buyer, or maybe you just don't like the house you have, it's too small or too big, now is a great time to actually take advantage of the real estate market here in Southwest Florida. If you're thinking about selling, it is crucial. It is crucial that you partner with an agent that understands the current market, understands the marketing in this status that we're in, but also more importantly is the agent understands how to position your house and get you ready so that when you're ready to hit the market, your house is viewed as the best home on the block. That's where my Sell It Stress Free system comes in. Scan the QR code on the screen or visit my website and let's have a conversation about what it will take to get your home sold. Again, if you're thinking about buying, call or text me today. Thinking about selling, let's have a conversation. Thank you for watching. And again, keep your head up, keep the half glass full mentality, and we'll get through this current market.